The Bible says the snake arrived and they ate the fruit. So depending on how rich you wanna be, you can also bring a snake so that you can eat the fruit. Mary Mold. Mary Mold is the woman that found the penicillin. They were looking through mold and then she found the best way through a plant. Hedy Lamar is responsible for Bluetooth and GPS. Mary Bell, it's called a Nobel Prize because of she was the astronaut that discovered the sound waves that they accredited the other two guys for, and not her. So it's called the Nobel Prize. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said that those that judge the heights of our achievement must do well to remember the depths at which we began. The independence of Ghana is meaningless if it is not linked to the independence of Africa. Ghana had to wait for South Africa 30 years for them to join them in the independence conversation. But his favorite is I am not an African because of I was born in Africa. I am an African because Africa was born in me. I'm a proud representative of the product Africa. So now they die. Krizanis, the Thomas Sankaras, the Dr. Kwames, they die right after independence. It's like they must become the sacrificial lamb. Krizani says it would be futile for liberators to turn out to be elites that use the country's resources and drive in Mercedes Benzes. Spoke too soon because of the country's resources are being squandered exactly like that. Or Tambo said corrupt or the ANC would be worse than the apartheid government. Imagine the stories of the apartheid government and then you put them next to South Africa too. Those in power better do well to remember that we will not forgive their crimes just like they did the first regime. I just came from seeing Kanyile. One of the conversations was the beginning of Zimbabwe. He tells me that when Mugabe tells his people to go take land, it's because of Britain did not meet the agreement that it had made to buy the land of Zimbabwe, just like America had done with Liberia. I understand this. One of the other things that came up was MTC and the traffic department. We're grateful for MTC, but I hear there was also an inquiry for all the sports heads and people were biting their tongues when they are asked what are they doing with the money. It makes me jump up and down inside because of those people are occupying our jobs. I wouldn't need to go there and lie about my credentials that I have 2 degrees just to develop sports. I would tell them I have a higher certificate for 3 months and an undying passion for sports. What else do I need? So grateful for MTC for developing our football talent. I'm not the greatest expertise in soccer. But now we have got to agreeing that all the people that are stealing the money at the traffic department, just like the one that was found with 5,000 plus in his office, that's how we're gonna catch them. They say a person makes 100,000 from corrupt monies. He must spend 10,000 at every nightclub or 20,000 every time he's out with his family. Because of that money is a crime. They say you can't even arrive with a new car because everybody's gonna wanna know where's money come from. But now it's unforgivable. I understand that people are undermining us and we're just sitting. Tabang said there's too many people at home in South Africa for there to be no movement. I want to take over the world and give it to women. I was raised by women. I guess me and the hijab have a breakdown coming. Yeah, the hijab goes back to the time of the Nephilim. I'm not a believer, but if you took an average Asian man next to an African average man, the African is a giant. So I don't know how I think about giants.